Welcome back to Really Haunted Places. Tonight's top 7 ghost stories will take you to haunted places in Utah. The Rio Grande Depot is most certainly haunted by several spirits, but the most famous is the Purple Lady. This beautiful woman is wearing a dark purple hat and dress from the early 1900s and is seen in the women's bathroom and balcony area. She apparently was killed at the depot when she and her fiancé got into a fight. He threw her ring down onto the tracks, and she was hit and killed by an oncoming train as she ran down to retrieve it. Rock Canyon in Provo is a popular climbing spot, but only for experienced climbers. There have been a number of deaths due to climbers losing their grip on the steep rock face and plummeting into the canyon below. These tragic deaths have contributed to the negative energy in the area, and the surrounding campgrounds are believed to be haunted. The most common sighting is of a man standing on one of the high rocky ledges. He is said to stare down at the living before running straight towards them at an impossible angle down the steep rock face. He vanishes into thin air just before he is about to make contact with the ground. The Salt Lake City Cemetery is so old that it's had plenty of time to collect unhappy spirits who've failed to move on to the afterlife. Emo will appear to you if you light a candle, circle his crypt 3 times, and then peer into it. The ghost of a small child has been seen here and is sometimes heard sobbing late at night. In 1873, Tooele Hospital was built as a family home for Samuel F. Lee. However, by 1913 it had been turned into a home for the elderly. These days it is unique in that half of the property is still a nursing home and the other half is a haunted attraction. It is also one of the most haunted places in Utah. Lots of people have described the ghost of a little girl named Jessica who will follow them around, while others comment on a former patient named Wes. There are also reports of the original owner Samuel F. Lee haunting the building. There is also a much darker and more malevolent force in the abandoned section of the hospital, and no one is keen to go there on their own. Fort Douglas was the site of several suicides and murders in its early years between 1896 and 1901. And some of those spirits may haunt the cemetery and Fort Museum today. The ghost most often seen is the one nicknamed Clem, who is a short, stocky man with a beard, wearing a Civil War-era uniform. He seems happy enough but tends to startle museum staff when he shows up unexpectedly. Formerly the Ben Lomond Hotel, the Bigelow Hotel and Residencies was originally a boarding house, and during the Prohibition era a tunnel was built to smuggle alcohol. It became a popular haunt among prostitutes and unscrupulous individuals. These days it is haunted by a number of spirits, including those of a mother and son. In room 1102 a lady drowned in the bathtub on her wedding night. Now guests who stay in the room report the water in the tub running by itself, and some have even described being pushed under the water by unseen hands. However, there is more to the story. After the bride died, her son came to the hotel to collect her belongings and stayed in the room next door. He was overcome with sadness, and he took his own life. Now he is said to be haunting the hotel. If you've ever visited, this is the place monument. you've seen Brigham Young's distinctive pink farmhouse. It's said to be haunted by several spirits, including two of Brigham's wives, and Eliza Webb and Lucy and Decker. And was not a happy polygamist. In fact, she later left the church and wrote a scathing memoir about her experience. She particularly hated the noise that the children made running around the porch. She shows up in one of the upper bedrooms. Lucy is supposedly a kindly spirit who is often witnessed in the kitchen during tours. Staff and visitors have also claimed to see Brigham Young himself at the house. I want to thank you for listening to our top 7 ghost stories. And until then, good night.